Welcome to the House of Labor. This is Studio 371, the podcast, here on Mighty Union Digital Originals, your source for information and insight about our union. Now here's your host, SSCU Local 371 President, Anthony Wells.
Welcome to another episode of Studio 371, the podcast. Today we're diving into a thought-provoking topic, shut down union busting, under the veil of the Freedom Foundation. So what's the Freedom Foundation all about? At first glance, they present themselves as a pro-worker organization. They claim to advocate for individual freedom, but as we strip away the facade, we often see that they are there to undermine the rights and benefits of union workers. What are their tactics? Deceptive messaging, misdirection alert. They're out there putting out information that's not right, that is totally misleading, and is there to trick workers into believing that they offer a better way, and we all know that's nonsense. So tonight, we're going to give you some insight into who they are, but better yet, let's talk about who we are. And for tonight's podcast, we have several guests. Let me start to my left. I'm going to have people introduce themselves, because y'all know me by now, right? Yeah. I mumble in 5 languages. Y'all know that. So let me not mess up anybody's name. Bam.
Hi, my name is Idalia Avila. I am a delegate for FIA HRA.
To my right.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Carl Cook. I'm your Vice President for Negotiations and Research for the Mighty Union.
And in front of me.
Hi, y'all. I'm Miss Shayla. I'm an alternate delegate with the Special Projects Public Engagement Unit.
And we're going to have another guest join us for another part of the section. And listen, y'all know what we do on the podcast. We try to give you the information straight out, no chaser, and have you decide what it is. So let's start off with Carl Cook, our Vice President, who wrote a fascinating article that's on our website. It's going to be in our union. It's about who are these people? Who? And what is the Freedom Foundation?
Yes, thank you, President Wells. Well, the Freedom Foundation, they present themselves, as President Wells said, as a progressive employee organization. On their website, their words, they call themselves a think tank, or better known as action tank. The only action they want to take is dismantle and disrupt unions nationwide. So this is just not a targeted attack against Local 371, District Council 37, or ASME. Their goal is to get this corrupt message out nationwide to every local, to every union member, to try to get them to opt out of the union. And they, again, members reached out to our president, to delegates on location regarding their deceptive practices. For instance, a check for $850, and if you want to redeem your $850, just sign it and send it back. And again, I challenged members last night on Delegates Assembly that the Freedom Foundation did not negotiate none of what President Wells negotiated. Our executive director, Henry Garrido, such as our remote work option and all the benefits that we have. They want you to opt out, to cut off your nose, to spite your face. Members must be informed that, again, if you opt out of the union, it's a lot of things. You cannot vote on the contract. The members are the last collective voice to ratify the contract. So when our executive director, Henry Garrido, negotiates the contract for all the locals under District Council 37, the ratification letters go out to the members. You have the last voice. However, if we buy into what the Freedom Foundation is selling, you will not have an opportunity to have a voice inside of this union.
So we don't have to speculate, because we have two members here who I think and I believe both of you received something. So let's talk about it first. So what did you receive, and how did you feel when you first got it?
Well, like I said, I actually only have 2 years being heavily active inside the union. And when I received the correspondence, I got the check. I was more confused than anything else. And I feel like as a delegate, someone who's more involved in the union, I didn't know what it was. So if I didn't know what it was, I mean, all other members might not know what it is. Right. So when I immediately called somebody and I was asking, who are these people? And they said, oh, it's nobody important, just throw it out. And yeah, so I just wanted to say, like, these people, I'm very pro-union and very anti-wasting paper. Why are they sending me mail? So,
Exactly.
yeah.
I like that perspective. Not only is she pro-union, but she's also a conservationist. I love it. I love it. Michelle, did you get something? And then if you did, what was your reaction to it?
Yes, I did. I have it right here. If you can see, yeah, I got this little WAC survey from I mean, it was pretty vague, and it initially it did put me off as far as wanting to, know my feelings about, union membership and whatnot. And but the my fellow delegates and union organizers did respond pretty swiftly in the chat, letting us know that there were some union busting tactics going on, and so that was really good. And I do agree with Carl as far as, like, these tactics that are going on as far as, what they're doing as far as, like, attacking the integrity of, like, organizing labor, organized labor and whatnot, and everything that stuff is built on. And I feel like that's what's actually going on, like them trying to get people to talk bad about the union. That's what I feel like was really going on as far as, like, trying to drum up that type of talk. And so, like, even if people haven't gotten those types of mailings, like, that can facilitate that type of talk. Yeah, so that's something for us to, like, be prepared about.
So what are you prepared to do to be a part of our response, to be a part of our fight back, to be part of our shutdown, but also to be a part of how should we deal with this?
Well, I mean, I think there's a number of things that we should do, because the fact that they're, like, not only trying to, drum up these ill feelings about the union, but the fact that they're trying to gather union members and workers information, like, their addresses, like their bank accounts and stuff like that, which is, like, violation of workers' privacy and stuff. I think there's, like, a number of things that, us as organized workers need to do, like one, we need to educate our members on this, which is something that y'all have already done. Like, putting out that letter was really good and swift. And we need to get those who are unorganized, and let them know that it is good to join a union if they're not already joined in a union, right? And that's something that y'all have also been on top of. And just let them know what the benefits are of the union. And the other thing I think is, like, a good idea is just to just, like, even outside of the union, just to something that Carl mentioned at our last delegate meeting, which was, I really like the sound of, was that, I mean, there's a difference between being a delegate and being an organizer. And I won't go in a lot into it, but just, like, there's a delegate and there's an organizer, and that's something I really thought about, and just your willingness to come and work together collectively towards a shared goal. And I just think, yeah, just us coming together and uniting, that's something that we're really going to need to do under this next administration.
Thank you so much. And Delia, what do you think?
I believe that the best tactic is actually education. Not only where Carl actually wrote the letter saying who these people are, we would educate more members on what we do, what we have done for them. We have to remind people we should actually, like, rally, make sure, there's strength in numbers. If these people were to see the amount of people that are actually pro-union and with the union, they can't stop us. We are who we are.
So both of you ladies are activists. So you go really above the one just being a member. You actually give up yourself and your time. If you had to talk about, let's talk about unionism, period, or even what's particular to SSE Local 371. What do you say a couple of things that workers should know why they should be in a union? And one, you said already, strength, power, being powerful. But we also like to talk about what concrete things that this union or the union has provided.
Collective bargaining. We fight for our fair wage. We actually, again, Carl, goes to the table and actually fights for our right to actually make a decent living and earning. So,
not bad, and it's okay. Let me tell y'all up front, it's okay for about getting paid because we all go to work. Everybody in this studio, all of us go to work to get a check to feed our families. And we need to talk about that because that's the motivating factor. What you do when you get to work is what's different. So, how about for you, Michelle? What things would you point to?
Well, yeah. Well, I think one of the key things that like these types of organizations that they really say that they're for like workers' freedoms or like workers' rights, but what they're really actually attacking are like workers' rights, like specifically like right to work laws and like like they end up like right to work laws actually they end up lowering workers' wages, they lower benefits, they end up with like less job security, whereas that's exactly what the unions people who are in unions, they statistically show that they have greater benefits, stronger job security, and we have more pensions, and so that's something that I would just point to, and everyone knows that like pensions are fewer and far between. And they are dwindling, and it's just very, very unfortunate, and Social Security is also very unfortunate in being defunded. And so we don't want to lose those protections, and those are things that we just like definitely have to fight for.
I love it. So, Carl, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling just. Can you see how the pride coming out of my ears? Listening to both you workers, young workers who we know are part of the future, and the future is now. Okay, and so we thank you both. But you're not done. Gonna have Carl say a couple of words. Then we're gonna bring in and more experienced unionists, and we're gonna have some more discussions about how do we let our people know which way we think they should go in terms of this union. And you ladies have really spelled it out beautifully. Okay, but let's do that, Carl.
Yes, the members here are sharing the sentiment of all of our members, not only in local SSE Local 371 and District Council 37 as well, that they are aware, they're alert, and they're sharing the message to their colleagues. Don't be deceived and stick with your union. That's what you heard here today.
And now let's take a little commercial break from the action and journey down labor history lane to learn about three extraordinary labor leaders who just happen to be women. And you're going to get some good information. But let me say this ahead of time. There's one that's not here that we're going to highlight in the near future.
In the rich tapestry of labor history, three extraordinary women have made monumental contributions to the union organization and workers' rights. Mary Harris, Mother Jones, Frances Perkins, and Dolores Huerta. Their tenacity and leadership not only shaped the labor movement, but also paved the way for future generations of women in leadership roles. First is the invincible Mother Jones, born in 1837 and known for her tireless advocacy, particularly for minors and children. With her fiery speeches, she rallied countless workers, famously declaring, "Pray for the dead and fight like hell for the living." Her relentless efforts during the Pittsburgh coal strike in the 1900s showcase her ability to unify workers and demand better conditions. Next, we celebrate Frances Perkins, the first woman to serve in the U.S. Cabinet as Secretary of Labor in 1933. Perkins was a trailblazer who played a crucial role in shaping labor policies during the Great Depression. Her work on the New Deal programs and the Fair Labor Standard Act established minimum wage and child labor protections, ensuring that countless workers received the rights they deserved. Finally, we have Dolores Huerta, co-founder of United Farm Workers alongside Cesar Chavez. Huerta was instrumental in advocating for farm workers' rights in the 1960s, and her famous phrase, "Si se puede, yes we can," became a rallying cry for social justice. Her grassroots organizing skills led to a significant improvement in wages and working conditions for farm laborers. These remarkable women, Mother Jones, Frances Perkins, and Dolores Huerta, have left an enduring mark on the labor movement, demonstrating that resilience can lead to transformative change.
Welcome back. That was extraordinary and informative. Now back to the action. And what does that mean? It means a call for action. What are we going to do? And this is not Carl Cook, but this is
Greg Thompson,
from
Local 371. I'm a HRA employee, and I'm a proud member of the mighty SSC, Local 371.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about what we should do. We talked about it a little earlier. We should inform our members. We should educate. We used to say inform, educate, and agitate. What does that mean to you? First of all, did you receive one? We know both these ladies received something. Did you receive something?
Yes, I did.
And what was your reaction when you received? And what did you receive?
I received a text saying, "Would you like an additional $850?" It seemed as if it came from the union, but I'm very familiar with the union logos, and something didn't seem quite off. And a colleague also called me immediately and said, "Did you get this as well?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm looking at it now. What is this?" And that's when I know something wasn't right, and that's when I proceeded to contact the union.
And how do you feel about that informal process that was working? Do you feel that's working? And why do you think that's successful? That people know to reach out to you and other delegates in cases like this?
It felt that we're doing our job. People feel comfortable. People feel there's a certain level of trust that they can reach out to us. And I was so happy that when I reached out to the union, the immediate response and how they supported me and made sure that we were doing the right thing by our members, informing them of these. It was deceptive. If you didn't pay attention, you would have thought it was a legitimate cause, which it's not.
How long have you been active in the union?
I've been active with the union since 2009.
Michelle, how long have you been active with the union?
Good question. I've been new to city service about 2 years now. Well, it will be 2 years in April. And so I've been in the union that long, and I've been a delegate for about a year. Yes, I'm relatively new. It's been quite a ride.
We're glad to have you. You know that, right? Because new or not, your energy is awesome. And then how long have you been doing it?
In the union?
Being involved with the union?
Well, involved in the union, this is my second year as a delegate. I've actually been in working for the city for 16 years. I knew of the union. My mom was in a union as well, so I know how important unions are. I started becoming more heavily involved because a friend was telling me how important it is to be in a union. So I started, looking more into it.
So call to action means what to you? What does that mean?
It's time to roll up our sleeves and get work done.
Michelle, call to action.
Well, I mean, I think we talked about this a little bit before when we were talking about organizing, right? Because I'm new to city work, but I've been a community organizer for about a decade. And for me, just being an unorganized worker, I've seen just the struggles that the struggles that you've had to have of not having those union protections. It is a lot better being in a union for sure, but but organized workers have remained determined to keep up this fight, against their bosses. They've done it like all throughout 2024, and I know that they're going to continue it in 2025. So I do have confidence in that for sure. Yeah. And I think Greg said that he's in SEIU. In Oh no, he's. I don't know if he mentioned that or whatnot, but you know what? District 37, District Council 37 of AFSCME, they represent more than. And correct me if I'm wrong. But they represent like 120 workers. Is
We're
that
more
right?
now.
Yeah,
We're more
even
now. We're over
more. Okay.
160,000. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a lot of workers. And but like for instance, SEIU is like at 2 million strong, and they just like rejoined. Let me check my notes. They
Go
just
ahead. Go ahead.
rejoined
Good.
AFL-CIO after like a 20-year separation. So that brings them to like 15 million. But the things I just say that all to say that there were a recent survey, 60 million Americans who said that they would join a union tomorrow if their laws allowed them to organize within their workplace. And so like that's like 60 million Americans who are ready to be organized in the workplace, and they're just waiting to be that. And so like when you get these like opt-out surveys, and I checked on the website after we got those surveys, their website, and they said that they were like celebrating like, oh, they got 20,000 opt-outs, compared to like 60 million, that's like less than 1%. That's like 0.3%. And that's just up to us to not only educate, the unorganized workers, but those who, not understanding this literature and not understanding like this, like the what Carl was talking about before, the integrity that the like people like the Freedom Foundation is trying to break up. And so like that's really for us to just get out there. That's what I think of when I think of the call to action.
Oh, I love it. And
Call to action. You posed that question. The first thing I thought of was fight. Not physical, but fight, show up to rallies, make your voices heard, be seen, even join with other unions to fight, to be the greater good, do what we got to do, be seen. I mean, unions right now, people wish they were in unions. Look at Starbucks, look at Amazon. They're all fighting to unionize. It's very important, and we just have to basically teach others, educate others, let them know how important a union is. Whether you're just in a union, you don't know about what all the benefits they have, tell them. It's very important.
so one common thread we've heard is educate,
Correct.
inform, organize, right? Galvanize, coalition building. Okay? And nowhere did I hear fear, trepidation, negativity. We are not afraid of a fight. Whether you've been here 2 years, 1 year, 15 years, or years, we are not afraid of a fight. And we're going to continue to do that and be positive and let our members know what it means to be in this union, and let them tell us, like you did tonight, what it means to be in a union, particularly what it means to be in this union. And you do it not just with words, you do it with your actions, your delegates, okay, which means you give up yourself, you give up your time. That means you don't just talk the talk, you walk the walk. We're going to do a part 2. Part 1, right on time. I want to thank Michaela. I'm going to do it now, like Michelle. Adelia, I'm just messing up words. Gregory, Carl Cook, and most of all, thank our members for being the members you are. If you don't know, use any of our social sites to find out more information. Listen to what these workers have to say, because that's what it is. It's not what we do down in central office. It's what you got to every day on locations, on the front lines. Thank you very much. God bless you, and God bless the union.
Thanks for listening to Studio 371 with President Anthony Wells. If you like our show and want to know more, check out our website, www.mightyunion.org. Or please leave us a review on iTunes. Until next time, Union strong, Union proud.